Hi, welcome to What the Flick. I'm Christy. This is Tim Grierson, who's filling in because every single other film critic on the planet is at Comic-Con. Alonzo will be here eventually. Who do you write for now? Like everybody?
Everybody. I'm the senior U.S. critic for Screen International, and I write for Paste and Rolling Stone as well.
And Deadspin.
And Deadspin.
Please read Grierson and Leach on Deadspin. They do some insightful, cool stuff. We're talking about Strangerland, which played at Sundance, and it is this indie Australian drama, the first indie Australian film Nicole Kidman has made since Dead Calm back in 1989. And she plays a mom who's married to Joseph Fiennes, who's a pharmacist, and they have 2 kids, and they've moved to this middle of nowhere town in Australia because some sort of scandal has happened involving the teenage daughter. She's 15 and clearly blossoming in her sexuality, and something terrible has happened in their old town. They've moved to a new town, which kind of seems like a zombie town because it's really desolate and nobody lives there. Take a look.
Lily's gone. She's out there somewhere. Hi, Birdie.
Would you put some clothes on, please?
Lily's been missing before.
Hello?
His daughter's a whore.
I reckon that girl's a goner.
I have to tell you something.
Why did you go out in the middle of the night?
Why are you doing this?
Because you're not doing anything!
Stop.
What's wrong with me? Can you help me find my daughter?
So the kids disappear very mysteriously. There are lots of red herrings as far as what might have actually happened to them, who the suspects might be. This just did not work for me. Like, it's shot beautifully, and it's so bleak.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an interesting idea. I think it's kind of this atmospheric, almost kind of like noir, kind of like psychological character study. And Nicole Kidman, I think this is actually one of her better performances in quite some time. I mean, I think like in the early 21st century, she was like performance after performance after performance were all so good, and she kind of fell by the wayside for a while. In this one, you know, she plays this mother and wife who has a very unhappy life. And as the movie goes on, we see just how unhappy her life is. And it's one of the most, in some ways, literally, emotionally naked movie performances she's done in quite some time. She really kind of gives her all to a movie that doesn't deserve such a good performance, frankly, because I think that she really kind of gives all in terms of showing this mother, showing this wife who really kind of regrets a lot of her life decisions, and because of what happens with her family, kind of goes back and looks at her own life. I think she's really strong. I think Hugo Weaving is really great.
They have some great moments together, the two of them. Great chemistry.
And he plays a detective kind of on the lookout.
He's had some loss of his own, so they connect.
Yeah, and it's also, I think, part of the problem with this movie where everything is very symbolic. You know, he has also had loss in his life, like you said, and so everybody in this movie is thematically connected in a very kind of convenient way that never happens in real life, but always happens in the movies. They're both really good in it. I think Joseph Fiennes, who plays Nicole Kidman's husband, really doesn't have much to do. He mostly just broods. He broods professionally kind of throughout the film.
And every once in a while he'll just beat the crap out of somebody.
Right, yeah, he's angry.
He has this violent streak that comes out of nowhere.
He's very angry, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just sort of a bummer. Like, it's this great looking film. It's a hard movie to review because it looks so great. There's some beautiful imagery, some gorgeous, like, burnished widescreen imagery of the sunsets in the outback, and really craggy canyons, and there's a big dust storm that comes, and it's like a wall of orange, and it's very cool looking and very, very psychologically blankets everything in this haze. But it's just relentlessly bleak and trying to be very, very profound with the daughter's breathy poetry. And anyway, it doesn't really work. It played at Sundance, did not get very well reviewed out of there, and I don't think it's going to have a huge audience here either. So what is your number then?
I would give it a 4.
I'm giving it a 4.5, so our number is a 4.3. I think it is playing in limited release. Maybe it's in VOD. I wouldn't bother on any format. Bye.